I did not expect to make a video on this, but we are going to talk about it today. On Sunday at Watkins Glen, while battling for the second position, Kyle Larson and Christopher Bell made contact, and it resulted in Christopher Bell spinning and essentially took him out of contention for the race win. Now, we have seen replays, we have seen other things. I did not expect to make this video, but it has, I don't know if escalated is the right word, but it is still being talked about here on Wednesday. Bell voiced his displeasure with Larson. Larson gave his side of the story. Initially, Larson took all of the blame, but after looking at replays, Larson has changed his mind a bit, and he tried to reach out to Christopher Bell, but Christopher Bell has not picked up the phone. So we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the incident. We are going to talk about the quotes that the driver said and all of that. So let's start off with the quotes, obviously, and then we'll look at the actual incident, and I will give my take on the incident. So first, after the race initially on Sunday, Christopher Bell voiced his displeasure with Larson. He was not happy. He said, "I haven't seen it, so I don't know if I crowded him at all, but he shouldn't have been in there in the first place. He didn't really have a run coming off of turn 7. We were all packed up." So basically, he was saying there was no room, and I disagree there. I'll show you why, but I do disagree. Then to Larson. This was on Sirius XM radio yesterday. Larson gave his take after being able to look at the replay, think it through, look at all that, and etc., etc. "Initially, I thought I was completely at the wrong," Larson said, "but honestly, I think more after watching the replay. I think we both had a factor in what happened. I got in there. I didn't dive bomb like he said I did. I was half a car length back on him going down the front stretch, looked to his inside, the whole braking zone, and was actually further forward than I actually really was. I locked the brakes up late in the braking zone when I realized he was going to turn in the corner, and really turned in like I wasn't there. I'm not sure if his spotter just didn't tell him or what happened there, but either way, I still feel bad about it. I don't ever want to spin anybody out, especially Christopher Bell. I have a lot of respect for him on the racetrack, and we've had amazing races together. Obviously, he's upset, and I get it, but after watching more of the replays, I don't think I was fully at the wrong. I reached out and tried, but I guess he's not willing to talk to me, which is kind of whatever. I think any adult in the field would at least have a conversation with you, but he doesn't care to. So we'll move on from it, and if he wants to get me back, that's fine, whatever. I'm not going to worry about it. If it makes him sleep better at night to ignore me and want to crash me or whatever, so be it." Oh! So first, Bell doesn't want to talk to Larson, like conflict-ish, I don't know. Next up, okay, Larson said if any adult in the field would talk to him. He's basically calling Christopher Bell a child. I think that's hilarious. Drama. I love it. Watch Christopher Bell be told to take out Kyle Larson next race in order to secure the regular season championship for Denny Hamlin or something. I think that would be funny. Regardless of that point, let's talk about it. So let's look at the incident. So obviously, a couple laps before, actually, Larson had made a move on Bell to try to take second from him. He got a run. He did a good job off of the corner trying to get to the inside of Christopher Bell, but he cannot make the pass because Bell threw a, I would not call it a super aggressive block, but it was kind of an aggressive block to try to maintain second place, and Larson could have easily sent it in there, dumped him wherever, but instead Larson backed up when he was blocked all the way down to the pit wall. But instead, Larson decided to race him easy, decided to back off and let Bell stay in second, and he fell back in line in third. And so that, to me, that kind of set a tone to that, the fact that, Larson, he saw that Bell was willing to make an aggressive move like that to keep the position, so why couldn't Larson, make an aggressive move to take the position? That's not saying that I think spinning him out's wrong. I don't think it was intentional or anything, obviously, but let's look at the incident here. So, coming down the turn 7, Larson gets a good run. It wasn't a huge run or anything crazy, but Larson sends it in there. He gets a good run. He's going into turn 1, hits him. Now, from that angle, that's not the greatest angle to see it, but from that angle, it looks like a normal pass going into turn 1 at Watkins Glen. Someone goes to the inside, there's a car on the outside, and then they touch. So that angle, I don't think, tells the whole story. Now, looking at the other angles, I think this tells a better story. This kind of pit wall angle, you see Larson lock up the front tires, lock up the brakes, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe that was on Larson 100%. But then you look at the pause, and you can see his right side tires are on the curb. His right side tires are all the way down there. He really couldn't have done much more. He could have gone into the grass, ripped up his splitter, gone straight into the door of Bell, ruined both of their days, crashed them both, and made them both have 30th or worse finishes, but he was on the curb. He couldn't have done anything else. I mean, he's down there. So Christopher Bell, like, you can't crowd him like that, but at the same time, you know, Larson, I guess he could have not dove in there, but man, he's down there. You really can't do much else. This camera angle also gives us a good story of what happens here, but hold on, let's see. So Larson goes in there he's on the curb. I mean, there was a little bit more curb he could have taken, but that would have popped him up in the air a bit. So I think obviously it's a racing incident, but in terms of blame, I think it's 50-50 to be honest, you know, because Larson did go in there and he did lock up the brakes and he did make contact with him obviously, but at the same time, Christopher Bell didn't give him any room. He didn't chop him necessarily, but he went down and he hit him. He didn't give him room. If he gave him room, this wouldn't have happened. And honestly, Bell would have maintained second place if he just stayed to the outside because Larson wouldn't have been able to roll the momentum. But so to me, it's 50-50, but Bell should have given him room. Larson could have been a little bit less aggressive. Obviously, he shouldn't have locked up the brakes, but I would say it's 50-50 blame. But thanks for watching this video. That's where I stand on the incident between Christopher Bell and Kyle Larson. Obviously, you don't want to see drivers like intentionally wrecking each other in the future, but still, it is pretty interesting when this kind of stuff happens. It gets fans excited for maybe a rivalry or something, but I don't think anything will come out of it. Maybe Bell will give him a little bump on the bumper or something in Indianapolis. Maybe he'll race him a little bit more aggressively, but I don't see anything crazy happening, and I don't see like a Matt Kenseth, Joey Logano situation intentionally wrecking, but, you know, who knows. But, yeah, that's my thoughts, so I hope you have a good rest of your day. We'll talk about the points tomorrow, and like, subscribe, share, all that stuff.